fans, AdamHarry here with a quick BoLS unboxing. Today we are going to be looking at Bloodborne, the card game. This is a game by Eric M. Lang from CMON, who put this together. This was announced. I was actually pretty excited. I am a fan of the Dark Souls series of games. If you're not familiar with those, go check them out. They're pretty sick. But Bloodborne is kind of an offshoot of that type of genre. I'm not going to get into all that, but it's like a spiritual cousin to those games. Long story short, this is the card game. It boasts to be both brutal and backstabby, which are things I like in my card games. So basically, players take the role of hunters, and then they are here to gather blood, to get stronger, to hopefully escape this evil nightmare. And there's a couple ways that you can play this. You can, the series itself, Bloodborne and Dark Souls, that series is known for its extremely brutal PvP combat, player versus player combat. And this game definitely has that as an option. It's a way to win. So it's a 2 to 5 player game, 14 and up, and it takes about 30 minutes to an hour to play. But again, with those PvP mechanics, you're going to have to work together to kill monsters, but then you're going to have to watch your back once those monsters are dead because players can't attack you. Now, I haven't opened this, obviously, still got the plastic wrap off. So let's go ahead and flip this over and take care of that. Alright, I've just taken the plastic wrap off. We're going to go ahead and dive into the contents again. I have no idea what all's in here besides I know it's cards. And I saw this at Gen Con, which is where you pick this box up. I saw it played, but I didn't get to play. So here we go. First time in the box. We got a rule book. That's a plus. We'll go through this here in a second. We'll show that off, but there's the quick recap of the game setup. We'll do that. We'll go through that more, I promise. We've got some tokens. Lots of tokens. These look like dials, which they probably are, which are going to probably work with those. And if I can line this up to show you guys, you probably have something like this. It's probably going to show maybe hit points or something. I'm not sure. Really cool tokens. All right. Bloodborne, the card game. Oh, these are going to be the player boards. There's 5 of these, again, 2 to 5 player game. So you can see those. We'll just, not front and back, well, kind of back, but not really. You're only going to use the one side. We'll go over these real quick and show those off. So keep your collected blood echoes here, banked blood echoes, and then you have a round of play, what you're actually going to do. And I'm not sure what these numbers are, but I'm willing to bet it has something to do with magic and damage and stuff like that. Maybe your stats. Choose and play action cards, transform weapons, resolve instant effects, monster attack, hunter's attack, monster's escape, hunter's dream, reveal new monster. So that's what a round looks like per player. So don't know what all that is, but we will get into it. We've got the tokens here. We've got a ton of tokens. We've got these big ones, which I'm assuming are just more value. These are probably blood tokens as well as these, but these are probably worth like 5 or whatever. So we'll find out. I'm not 100% sure on that. And then these are the dial pegs to make probably the hit point dials. Some dice involved here. They don't look to be the exact same numbers. We'll maybe look at these here in a second. I'll open this up and we'll take a look. There's 3 sets of dice. Oh, we've got, these look like the boss cards that we're going to fight. Go ahead and open this up now. So, Vicar Amelia. Michael Lash, Host of Nightmares. Creepy. Final boss. These are all final bosses, yep. German, the First Hunter. That's where he went. He's a boss. Murgo's Wet Nurse. Pretty creepy. We know all about wet nurses here on BoLS. Rom, the Vacuous Spider. Final boss. These are all final bosses that you're going to be fighting, obviously. And then put those up there. This is nice, by the way. This vacuum sealed, vacuum packed stuff to keep everything separate and equal. Separate and put away, I should say, not equal. Cards aren't the same as tokens. That's not the same. Anyway, it's pretty cool because it's everything separated for you. Like for your tokens, different stuff for your dice, all those blood tokens and things like that will fit very nicely in your decks of cards. And then that's pretty much it in the box. Just give me the bottom. Now, this last deck of cards, I'm going to open this up as well. I don't want to, well, here, let me just give it a shot here. Bingo. Sometimes I can open it first try, and sometimes I have to pause the camera and actually like get the scissors out. But that one was pretty easy to open. So we've got these may be monsters. They gotta be monsters that you're fighting. They look pretty cool. I love the artwork. It is very, you know, Bloodborne. So what else are you expecting there? So just tons of monsters. Gross. Watchdog of the old lords. Ooh, don't want to meet him. Some of you who've played the game, you may recognize a lot of these monsters that you fight. So pretty cool stuff. These look like item cards. So you kind of see here this deck. From what I can tell, these are going to be the monsters because the backs are different. The rest of these are probably item cards that you're going to draw as you kill stuff. So yeah, just going to go through there. Saw Cleaver, Transform, Starter card. So we do have some starter weapons are going to, obviously the players are going to have to get started. Probably a couple of card sets for one for each player. Some blood vials, threaded cane. And these look to have a different stat, different effects on them as well. I'm not going to go through all those because I haven't researched them yet. I don't know what they do. So pretty cool looking though. Anyway, there's a lot of weapons there. Let's go ahead and pause real quick and I'm going to take a look at the rulebook. All right, here we have the Bloodborne rulebook. Bloodborne, the card game rulebook. Here we go. So pretty straightforward. It's not super long. It's only about 16 pages and it's pretty well done. So it's pretty easy to follow. Love the artwork in the book, by the way, so that's cool. This is definitely has that Bloodborne feel to it. So again, just a quick synopsis of the game. You are playing as a loose team, in quotes, of 3 to 5 hunters. So yeah, you're going in here to fight the monsters. What your goal is to actually do damage to the monsters, get blood tokens, and then whoever wins the game is whoever has the most blood tokens here, and this is your trophy track. So the different types of monsters you kill give you a trophy, and that is also bonus points at the end of the game. So that's important to note. So moving on. So here's the components real quick, and I guessed right. Again, I hadn't seen this before, but the big tokens represent 5 blood tokens, and the little tokens are worth 1. So haha. The cutout here is the first player token. That's going to be important. Later on, you got 5 hunter health dials, 15 trophies. Those are the things that move up the tracks, and then the custom monster dice. So these dice that we looked at earlier, they are different. The red dice is probably the most powerful, most dangerous dice. The yellow dice is the next most powerful and dangerous, and the green die only has has 2 zeros on it, making it the least dangerous of the dice. It also doesn't go above a 2 on the damage track. Now, a couple things you want to call out. You notice some of these dice, some of the numbers have pluses on them. In addition, you kind of see that one there, or that one right there. The 2 has a plus next to it, or a little X, whatever you want to call it. If the first player rolls the monster damage, if they land on a plus, they have to roll again on that damage. So basically you roll this die again and it adds stacks. So ad nauseum. So you can keep going with every time you roll a plus, you roll that extra attack. So that's kind of a big deal. Setting up the game, you pick the final boss first actually, and then you prepare the dungeon deck, and then you set up your upgrades per player, so you kind of lay all that out, and then you take your hunter boards and put your trophy markers on those. It's all very straightforward, and then each player gets one of each of the hunter starter cards. So the hunter starter cards, we kind of looked at those earlier. That's going to be these 5 cards. I'm going to explain these real quick. So how hunters get blood is they actually have to damage the monsters. That's what the red drop down there is, as you can see there. And they have different effects. These 2 are melee weapons. They hit the hardest. The instant effect here, if you're blue is usually you don't actually get hit back, so that's a plus, or can help you out, which we'll get into here in a little bit. So there's a bit of a strategy depending on which cards you want to play. Next up is the transform card. This lets you wait to see what other hunters are doing as far as attacks before you play one of these, so you can actually choose which weapon you're going to do. The reason the pistols are nice is because they're instant effect. So yeah, you get to see if anybody else is attacking from range before you play that, which again, there's upgrade cards later. And then the Hunter's Dream, this is the card that you play. Any damage you take is rounded down for that turn, and then you get to go to the Hunter's Dream and bank your blood and reclaim any and all used action cards. You get a new upgrade, and you get to go back to full health. So that's the card that you want to play kind of at the end of a combat. The thing about the Hunter's Dream is it takes you out of the fight, and if the monster dies, then you don't get any goodies from the fight, which is kind of a big deal because that's the point of the game. So, moving on, Blood Reserve. Once there's no more Blood Reserve, the game's over, by the way. So that's kind of something to note. Health dials and all that. Again, every player starts at 8 health, and you go down from there depending on how hard the monsters hit you. And then real quick, the card types, just if we're going to look at a boss real quick, I'll show you. So the monster, the red, that is their health, but also how much blood they have in their blood pool. The lantern here is the type of die they're going to roll when they attack. So this one guy, this Vicar Amila rolls a yellow die, and then these are the type of tokens that you're going to get for killing the boss. This boss gives you one type of trophy for each track. So it's really worth killing bosses because you get a ton of stuff. But obviously bosses are a lot tougher. Yeah, that's the final boss cards. Action cards, again, how you spend those. This talks about what I mentioned earlier, just as far as range damage and stuff like that. So melee are red, range weapons are blue, and they can help protect you against taking damage and stuff like that. Utility cards are gray. They help you to, again, you get away to the Hunter's Dream or stuff like that. You can chuck a Molotov cocktail, so it's cool stuff. Sequence of play is really straightforward. Again, we kind of saw this already on the back here, but you're just going to choose and play your action cards. So when you're playing your action card as the hunter, you can kind of talk amongst yourselves. The hunters can talk about what they're going to do on the attack, but that doesn't mean you have to do that. So that's where the backstabby part comes in. Maybe that dude's at 1 health and he's waiting for everybody to attack, and you're like, I'm gonna attack, and then you chuck a Molotov cocktail and hit everybody. And take out the hunter, which is totally viable. It's part of the game, stuff like that. So you're gonna choose and play your action cards, transfer of any weapons, resolve instant effects. Monsters attack before hunters. I want to call that out. Then the hunters attack. Monsters escape, and then you go to the Hunter's Dream at the end of the round. The other thing too I want to mention, I just remembered this, was, you know what? I forgot what I was going to say, but I'm going to keep moving on. So that's the action cards. Transforming weapons. Oh, that's what I was going to say. When you choose your action cards, everybody reveals them at the same time. So that's why the transform weapons is such a cool thing, because you get to wait to see what everybody's doing, because you reveal everything at the same time. So that kind of can set, if you're going to use your ranged attack weapon, that can be really useful. That'll let you resolve instant effects. Again, hit the monster before they hit you, stuff like that. Monsters attack, hunters attack. So I already explained how the monsters attack with the red die. Hunters attack, again, you're just going to take that number from the bottom, the blood drop from the weapon attack that you're hitting with or action card that you're hitting with. That's how much damage the monster takes. And the blood pool is also how much life he has, so, or she. When the monster is out of life, it is dead, and yeah, that's it. Fortunately or unfortunately, you only get blood by attacking monsters, and if you attack the monster and they have no blood left, it's a wasted attack. So, and the attacks start with the first player. You kind of move around, so that's very important. You also only get trophies if you attack the monster. So that's another big thing here. There's other intricacies in here. I haven't read through the rulebook all the way, obviously, but I'm trying to show you guys kind of a quick example of gameplay here. So the Hunter's Dreams, where you're going to go, has a different thing. You can bank your blood, so if you die in the arena, you no longer lose all of your blood that you have on you, but it goes to the banked blood for later. You can reclaim all of your used action cards, gain upgrades, and rest to full health. That resets your dial back up to 8. If you're a dead hunter, if you die during the combat, you don't get to get any of your action cards back, but or get to bank your blood. You actually lose all your blood because you're dead, but whatever. You do get an upgrade card, a special upgrade card for the Hunter's Dead pile, and then you do go back up to full health, though, so that's kind of important. Anyway, end of the round, trophies. Basically, the game comes down to this. This is how to win the game. You count up all of your blood echoes, plus the blood echo bonus from your trophies. Once the final boss has been killed, that's it. That's how you win the game. Whoever has the most blood. Not much else to say about that. And again, that's why there's that kill or be killed and backstab. You do have to work together because for a lot of the monsters, if you don't kill them, I forgot to go over that step. right here. Monsters escape. If you don't kill the monsters, there's a chance that they will just run away. So that means everybody misses out on any leftover blood, and nobody gets a trophy for killing a monster. So that can be something you want to keep in mind when you're playing. But this looks like a pretty quick-paced game. Again, the play time for an average game, 30 minutes to an hour long. I think once you get a couple of games in your belt, you may find that it goes pretty quick. But that's pretty much it for Bloodborne, the card game. Definitely recommend checking it out. Yeah, from CMON, really good stuff. So go check it out. I don't know if it's in stores at this point when you're watching this video, so go check their website. Have fun. AdamHarry for BoLS, sign off.